Hey guys, welcome to the DBC film room. We're going to be breaking down the Browns v Falcons Week 4 matchup. I'm pretty positive, as I was in the last film breakdown, in this one as well, because the team deserved it. There was some criticism for sure, especially some individual performances that I go into, but overall I try to be positive here. Now, if this is your first time viewing my film breakdowns, I appreciate you being here. And I have some other ones that you can check out if you want to after this that go into some really great detail. If you are new here, if you could just subscribe, like, comment, just for the algorithm, and let me know what you think. Share this out to your friends. But yeah, other than that, we'll get into it. Get you on the other side of the intro. Alright guys, we're going to start this video today talking about Mariota, and I want to start with a good play that I saw from him. On this particular play, he's going to go to his check down, but it's the way that he goes to his check down that makes this a very good play in my mind. So what's going to happen is Pitts and London are kind of running an out and up. Kind of an out route, like two out routes. One's gonna go, I think London goes deeper, and Pitts goes in. But the way they do it is that they kind of go in and then go out to try to stress the corners and give them, and they kind of have like inside leverage, so they're kind of trying to lean into that leverage and then come out. But what's really good about it is it turns out to kind of clear them out and set up a block for, I think this is Avery here. He's going to just kind of do a play action and then just kind of come out here. Keith Smith does a very good job of coming in and being he's going to come over here and he's just going to be an extra blocker to pick up the blitzers or any free defenders. And the offensive line does a good job of buying Mariota time, and Mariota does a good job of kind of drifting to the left to buy himself some time, because there is a little bit of edge pressure that comes in. But really, there's three routes that are ran, really. And what's really good about this play is not only does Mariota get to his check down, which he has struggled to do and does struggle to do later on in the game, and I'll show you, but he gives it a little bit of time to get all these defenders kind of flowing one way, trying to cover Pitts and London, kind of get up the field. So by the time he gets to his check down, Avery has just a ton of space to run, and he gets the first down. So we'll just play it here. You'll see the fake C, good protection. Like I said, London and Pitts are just kind of getting upfield. They kind of curl out here. So like I said, look at all this space that's created because he's let the play go, and he's drifted to the right or to the left to buy himself some time. Now he's gonna let it go. Actually, it's Algier. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get confused between 35 and 25. but it's Algier. But anyways, he's out and he's running, and then he just kind of plays off of the blocks that are created by London and Pitts just naturally. They really didn't like lay a block or anything, just kind of got in the way, and he just kind of read it and gets the first down in a big gain. So very good play by Mariota, just getting out there, and a very good design of an offensive play. So just good all around. All right, guys, I just showed a good play by Mariota. Now I'm going to show a not so good play by Mariota. And it's actually kind of a dangerous play because he really hangs London out to dry here to take a hit, and you can, hurt your receivers, injure them. You can cause turnovers. It's not a good idea to do what he does here. And this is an argument that I've had with a lot of people with Matt Ryan. A lot, people always said that he underthrew balls, which that happens sometimes. It happens to every quarterback. But for the most part, a lot of the quote-unquote underthrown balls that they talked about were actually him throwing to a spot to either hold up the receiver or to get them to slow their momentum, or to keep them from going towards like a safety, something like that in the middle of the field. Something that could, get them hit, get the ball jar loose. And it's not like he never messed up, made a mistake, and threw it into a bad situation, but it was very rare. Here, what you're gonna have is, I think this is Ferkser. He's gonna run a post. So is London. He's gonna run it a little deeper. You're gonna have Pitts come out in the flats. Avery here is gonna block, and then he's gonna go out on a little in route, kind of a drag, really. And then you just got Hodge over here. He's going to be running a fade. Not really important here. Really, theoretically, the ball should either go to Pitts here, because there is some natural space that's created for him to kind of run upfield, or whenever Avery comes out and goes on his little drag, there's a lot of space. But Mariota, being the aggressive quarterback that he is, wants it all sometimes, and he's going to put the ball in harm's way because he has trust in his arm, and he has a great arm. I'm not saying he doesn't, but this is very dangerous because the way that he throws it high, so London has to actually jump up to try to make the catch, and which exposes him. Plus he's got two defenders around him, and the safety just lays a hit on him, right? And you can actually see he does, feel it. He didn't get hurt, luckily, but it's one of those things that quarterbacks just can't do this. They do it sometimes, it happens, but, you try to avoid it. See, look, he could go right here, get the ball out quick to Pitts, and I'm not saying he's going to score, but he's going to get you, 6, 7, 8 yards on the play, and he's going to keep you, going. And you can already tell just by this box here, these guys are not going to be open. It's going to be a risky throw. Maybe Ferkser, when he makes his cut, you can get it over here and into this space, but again, you got the play right here. It's definitely not here. He's bracketed. He's got, this guy here, so you can't, throw it early. He's got this guy here, and he's got this safety, so the ball went to basically the worst place that it could go. And you can already see here, Avery's leaking out. So, you've got, 3 better options than what he does. And really these 2 are the best options, but, the safest options. But, I can see you, throwing, if you throw right here, if this is a good throw, it can be done. So, but he throws it high, and look, the way that he's exposed, he takes a shot, he gets sandwiched, and like I said, I try to be fair with Mariota, But these are the plays that really irritate me, because one, it keeps the offense from staying on schedule, and two, it's putting your receivers and the ball at risk, because he's throwing into double coverage there, right? With a potential third person that could get involved. They didn't in this particular case, but you know, there was 3 options on the field he could have gone with that were safer throws. Like I said, the first one could be a touchdown if you throw it right? And he's got to know. I mean, we can go back. I could see that before before he starts making the throw. He is staring down. Drake London is the guy he wants to get the ball to, right? He kind of glances. All he's doing here is glancing to hold this safety here, and he's wanting to put it in here. Why would you not want to hold the safety and then get it in over here? Why do you go to the more difficult throw? Like I said, this one is I mean, if he made this, it would have to be high level, because it'd have to go to like a spot like right here and clear this guy, right? Take the safe throws. I mean, if you look at a lot of quarterbacks that, are very good in the league, they don't always just take the risky throw. They take the safe throw. They take what the defense gives them. And, I mean, it's just inexcusable. But, anyways, I don't want to harp on him too much on this play. And this is why I harp on Mariota so much, because I know that he can be a very good player. He's kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of player. I mean, he makes superb, great plays, and then he just goes into, a different. He looks like he doesn't even belong on the field sometimes. And this one is actually a very good play. There's really not much there. It's just a simple. They're just trying to high-low. They're running 2 corners and 2 shallow outs with Hennessy here running just a little flat route. And so, normally that's pretty good to call against like a cover 3, which it looks like they're in. Just because you can it's good against cover 2 as well. It's just a good call a lot of times, but it does get defended. I mean, it's a very common call, so teams know how to defend it normally. And you're just trying to kind of high-low the corners and stuff. But the thing is, the Browns cover this pretty well. I mean, you kind of have Drake on a shallow out. He's if you got it out quick, you could get it to him. But it's kind of a risky throw because you got this guy coming in. He could undercut it, cause a turnover. So I don't really blame Mariota for not going there. But what Mariota does is he just buys time with his legs. It kind of becomes a scramble drill. Hennessy kind of goes up and kind of sneaks out, and the defender, you'll see, starts coming down on Mariota, because you got to respect that Mariota could run the ball. And when he comes down, Mariota just perfectly lobs it up over the guy, gets it to Ferkser, who presents himself to him, and gets a very solid gain. It's a good play, and it's what frustrates me. As you see here, like he could technically go here, right? But he's not looking that way, so he doesn't even see it. He's looking at the flat, and I can't really blame him for looking at the flat there. But he kind of just scrambles out, and then you see this defender. He's already seeing that this guy ain't gonna be able to make a play, so he's coming down. Where Hennessy just kind of finds this soft spot here, and soft spot of grass, and he just lobs up. I mean, that's a good. For him to be on the run, move, and everything, that's a very good throw. And like I said, this is what frustrates me, because he can make plays like that, right? But then he makes plays like I showed previously, and what I've shown, in many other videos, where he misses reads, he doesn't make a good throw, or he puts the ball in harm's way, So those plays are what's preventing him from being considered a top quarterback in the league, right? And at this point, I don't think he's ever going to change, So, I don't know. I just, wanted to show that as well. All right, guys, this is a little later in the game, and I think it's the start of the second half. Is the first drive of the second half, and again, Mariota just misses a simple read that could keep us on schedule, and it ends up actually leading to a sack on, I believe, the next play, and then we punt the ball. But it's a very simple read that he misses, and really what we're going to focus on is just Pitts and London here. They line them up on the same side like they always do. What they do here is Pitts is running kind of a crosser, and London is running what we call an option route. So basically, it's kind of like it looks like a slant to start, but there's an option to it. So if it's zone, London can find a hole in the zone, kind of present himself. He can get the ball, and get out into space. If it's man coverage, he's just going to run it through kind of like a drag route and just keep going and try to get separation from whoever's manned up on him. And you get kind of a natural pick from this motion. Because if he's coming here and Pitts is coming up, if someone's manned up on him, he kind of gets a natural rub, going here. So London actually gets open, and I'll show you on the option route here, and he's just sitting there. He's got a little bit of space. You get the ball out to him, but there's a ton of space to this side of the field. So if you get it out to London, he can run and, get some yards. Mariota forces it to Pitts, who is in a much more precarious situation. He's covered up, and he ends up having to try to make a one-handed grab and just drops it. So, it's just very frustrating. So this guy gets taken. They're running just a simple zone coverage here, but you'll see here, London's found the spot, the space here. Look at the flow of the defense. This guy is really the only guy that's out there. If Mariota kind of puts the ball like right here somewhere, like out here, London gets it and he can run out here, but he's staring, and this is another thing that I critique Mariota on. He just stares down his read sometimes. And yes, Pitts looks open here, right? There's some space, right? But he also doesn't hold this guy up, look him off, and like I said, it just, why are you? I understand what he saw there. I'm not saying that I don't see what he sees, but why would you make the more difficult throw whenever you can just take the short throw and it's going to get you about the same amount of yards? Look at that space, man. Unless that guy can just run up on London, you just run, throw it out just a little bit here to get London on the move, and he's off to the races, man. I don't know. I harp on him enough, but these are the plays that hold Mariota back. All right, and I showed you earlier Mariota getting to his check down and making a very good play. And on this play, he doesn't get to his check down, and it doesn't work out. But you'll see this play had just as much potential. The check down is the play. There's nobody else that gets open on this play. The check down is there immediately. Look at this. And it's even there after. We'll run it forward. It's still there. It's still there. You look downfield, there is nothing there. Nothing there. Check down. Check down. Boom, boom, boom. Take your eyes from right here, move them to over here, get it to Hennessy here, and let him run. Like, this is frustrating. Because why do you do this? And then you just kind of force it down and it's incomplete. Like, why? Why? What was he looking at? What was he thinking was going to happen? There was nothing from the start of that play. There was nothing there. And he Marioted it. I mean, I like Marcus Mariota. Think he's got potential to be a good player, but he formed bad habits, and those habits have never been fixed. And I don't think it's on coaching, because there's plenty of I'm sure that the coaches do the same thing in film study that I'm doing right now, and ask him the same questions. But it's in the heat of the moment, he gets flustered, and we've seen him be able to do it. He just doesn't sometimes. And I mean, you can't, there's no coach that can fix that. That's on the player. The player has to fix that. And, but yeah. Alright, guys, and this is a play where Mariota just costs us a touchdown by not concentrating on the snap. Now, the snap isn't the greatest snap in the world. It's a little off to the right. But regardless, it was good enough snap that Mariota should have handled it. He fumbles it. He does a good job of collecting it, getting rid of it to save a sack. I'll give him that credit. But it costs us 6 because we're just going to run a simple concept here. It's just a flat slant. It's just a simple slant route with a flat to create a natural rub, or get out to the flat. And London is gonna, could see this guy's got outside leverage here. He's more head up on him, but he's kind of leaning towards outside. So London gets the natural rub from OZ here, and he's open. And if Mariota just handles the snap, he can get it to him, and it's 6 points. I mean, we'll run it here. See, look, London's wide open, but the ball's on the ground. And I'll show you the snap from the field view here, or the from the line view here. But because it's not a perfect snap, I'll give him that. But I mean, you should be able to catch that. It was off to the right. Dalman can do better, but Mariota's got to help him out sometimes. Just like the receivers have to help Mariota out sometimes whenever he doesn't throw it perfect. It's just frustrating because it costs us points. Now, it ended up working out in this game, but in other games it's not going to. That's 4 points. I mean, we ended up having to settle for a field goal here on this drive, and it could all been prevented right there. And luckily it didn't cost us the game, but we gotta fix these things. Alright, guys, I'm gonna finish with the Mariota talk with a good play that he made, and it was actually a key play in the game, helped us win this game. So for all the bad that he did make the plays at the end to win, and I applaud him for that. This isn't a Mariota hate session. It's just I see what I see, and I point it out. What we have here is just simple. We run this concept 100 times. It's just a simple clear out by London. OZ here is just running, kind of an in route, kind of a crosser. He creates space. Here he clears the linebackers. Mariota does a great job of buying time. He gets the snap, goes to his left, and then he throws it back across body, which you usually don't say, you recommend not to do, but it creates, because of the flow of the defense from his motion and the play action that holds them up, it makes it where it just kind of comes free, and then he hits it in this space. So very good play by him. I'm going to let it run here. And just see. You see the clear out by London here. He's just taking the guys up the field. The linebackers kind of froze and they're getting back into their coverage here. Now you could technically throw it here and you still could get a completion, but it's dangerous because you got these guys here that could undercut it. So he just kind of buys time, goes to his left, and lets it clear up so that you get a easier throw here. I won't say easier throw, but you get a more open throw, less dangerous throw. And just he gets out in space. We get an actual face mask actually to tack on 15 extra more yards, and I mean that's a good play. So I wanted to finish talking about Mariota and move on to other things with a positive, because I mean he did make the plays at the end to win this game. So it's not a hate session for Mariota. I just want to see better, Alright guys, we're going to shift our focus here to the defense on this play. This is actually on the first drive, the goal line stand that we had. This was the second to last play of that drive. But I just really wanted to focus on this because of focusing on the run defense. But also I wanted to take an opportunity to go over alignment. And kind of explain things. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of 3 tech, 1 tech, 0, whatever. I'm just going to quickly explain what that's referring to, just so that you guys can have that for future reference. So basically, it goes off of the lineman here. So 0 starts at the center, and then 1 tech is either on the left or the right shoulder of the center, and then it just goes from there. So this is 1, or we also refer to this as a gap, or if it's head up, that's a 2. Head up with the guard, you don't see that a lot. You do see a lot of 3 tech, which is on the outside shoulder of the guard, or in the B gap. You see some 4 tech, you actually see it here, which is head up on the tackle. And then you see a lot of 5, which is on the outside shoulder of the tackle. Now, if you got another blocker here, obviously you just go 6, 7. You can have them out at the 9. They've called it before. Those aren't as common, but they do happen. It just depends on the alignment. But if you hear 1 tech, it's referring to he's playing Grady's position here, or DQ. Now you don't usually see 2 1 techs on the same alignment. Usually you have a 1 tech or a 0 and then a 3 in a more normal alignment. This is an interesting kind of alignment that they have here, which is kind of interesting. They have the linebackers the way they do. They're in tight. This is like a goal line formation, and they've got them in tight, and it looks like the linebackers are responsible for these gaps. Here's your strong side linebacker, weak side linebacker, and your middle in this play. Now, the goal here that they have, you have Grady and TQ are going to crash down, and they're going to kind of flow here. So Grady takes on the center, and TQ takes on this guard here. Now, Wk4 is going to kind of shoot in, and on the outside, it's interesting because Casey Hayward actually becomes the contained man, and what Anderson is going to do is he's going to come in and take on 77, and he's going to open up a nice little gap. Now, Rashaan Evans is flowing, so he can go into this gap and hit it. But what's interesting is Grant actually recognizes what's happening, and he actually shoots the gap and makes the play, which is very interesting as well. That's a very instinctual play by him. But I'm just going to run it forward and just kind of show you how everything goes. So you have Wk4 crashing in to take on the tackle here. Of course, Grady's taking on the center, the guard. They're crashing down here, just making this trash here. And Hawkins is sealing off the back end just to prevent a cutback. You want to just dirty up muddy the waters basically here. And then you got Anderson. He's coming to take on this guard, so he can't reach up. Obviously, ideally, what they want is AK to be taken by 85 here. It doesn't have to be a solid block, just taking on. And they want this tackle to reach up to get Evans. Either that or Anderson to take him, and then the guard reach up to Evans. And then you have, you're basically one-on-one with the safety, and you get in for the end zone. But they kind of blow this up by AK cutting in here, so that you take this blocker out, basically. And then now Anderson's job is to take on the guard, and then you've got a free defender here. He's going to have to, even if he blocks, and what's good about Grant coming down is to make it where, you can have an opportunity where 85 actually blocks Evans and gets a play. It's actually great that he recognizes what's going on and he shoots down. But we'll play it forward. See, so Anderson takes on this block, and I think this is a big reason why Anderson is getting more playing time, is because his run defense is improving week to week, which is nice to see. So, and you see, Rashaan Evans just is like, okay, you're taking the spot, I'm just going to push you forward. He pushes him forward and he flies through, and then they gang tackle. So just a very unique play, and very instinctual play by all the players. I mean, he kind of improvised as they went. Of course, you had the alignment, which was a good alignment, but ultimately the players make the play. And I mean, that was just very good run defense, and we'll see that throughout. I'm going to show a few other plays, just to kind of illustrate the point. But other than a few run plays that we gave up that were big, and Chubb obviously got his yardage a lot because he pushed piles forward. But overall, as far as like a run defense game plan, we played really well in this game. Alright, I wanted to show this next play. This is the play, that the fourth down play that the Browns ran on that first drive, and the play that we got to stop. I wanted to point out this play because I've talked about this in a negative way for a few film sessions, and I just wanted to show how they made the adjustment to actually do this right, the way that I would have coached it to be. So I don't know if you guys remember a lot of the goal line plays, 2-point versions, things like that. I talked about outside leverage by the corners to kind of put them in position of, if there is an outside, the space is here in the defense typically. So like out routes and stuff can get open. But if you are an outside lineman, you are in position to cover that better, and you kind of funnel in any inside routes to your help, which is here. All we're running is very basic. We just have a very basic alignment. Then all these guys are kind of in like a hook zone, which a hook zone is just kind of like a short, like if you play Madden, like the yellow zones, those are hook zones. But it's just you're playing just your little area. But it's a match concept. So like at a certain point it becomes man coverage. So they do a really good job of having that outside leverage to not give up the outside space, and then all the help just covers all these routes, and really Brissett really has nowhere to go, and he finally just has to throw it away, kind of heave it, and they match everything. See, the outside leverage is giving these corners, these guys want to get to the outside, but because they have outside leverage, they're already there. Then you have inside here, he's just waiting to see what he does. If he goes inside, he's ready. If he goes outside, that's fine. He's still got outside leverage to be in position here, and he's got help, just waiting. And they're just going to be covering them all, just kind of shifting them through here. Everybody is just covered, blanketed with this coverage. It's a very simple coverage. I mean, it's not. It's simple, but it's, you know, you have to all be working together. Because if one person's out of position, you create a hole and a space to, you know, create a play. But they play it perfectly here, and I like to see it. What I love about this play is it's a similar alignment to what we saw before, but they're actually playing, you know, he's playing the 1, but at the 3 they have Abdullah Anderson, and they have Anthony Rush here. Then you've got bigger linemen like Ogundeji, Carter's out here, and then I think this is Horner that they have here. So they just have a bunch of big guys up on the line. This is you know, in their own territory here. And I just want you to show you whenever this is snapped, because of the mass that we have here, we basically have 2 nose tackles, 3 really, in the D line here, and the line of scrimmage just does not move, which is interesting. See, they all try to combo, and they can't get much of a push. Now Walker, he can do a better job coming down here and actually taking this on. It didn't make a huge difference, but you know, I like to see that, because I mean, look at this. There's no push from this line right here. They're trying, and it takes everything they got to get anything on that. I thought that was interesting alignment and personnel that they had in there. So wanted to cover that real quick. And I want to do a player spotlight on Richie, but honestly, like, I just have to show it in these film sessions what he's doing. Just such an instinctual player. I mean, the whole defense played this well, but just look at Richie and how he just diagnoses what's going on, and he gets in on the play. And I mean, if he doesn't do this, it could, you know, in the past, we haven't had defensive backs that were this reactive to things and just stop things before they happen. And just what a tackle! What a tackle! That's Kareem Hunt, dude. That's not a nobody. He just stones him, man. Like I said, I'm gonna do a player spotlight on him, but I gotta give my man some shine, because he just makes plays week after week. And how about my boy TQ here, number 95, man? He is just a load, and he just bullies this offensive lineman here, and gets the stop by himself, basically. I mean, everybody did their part, but just look at TQ explode off this ball here. Just bullies the dude. And the dude's trying to, you know, scrape and kind of get him, but TQ ain't having none of it, dude. He just shoves him to the ground and makes the tackle. I mean, we have, and I just wanted to stop to say this real quick. We have such a good young nucleus. And this is really indicative of coaching, because, I mean, TQ is a later round pick. You know, you got people like Anderson, who you just see week to week them just improve by leaps and bounds. And it just, you know, anybody that complains about this coaching staff, I really don't understand it, because they're working with what most teams would consider as nothing, and they're getting it done. Like I said, I don't know how much is going to result in wins and losses at the end of the year, but you can just see this team improving week to week, and it's very exciting to see. Here's another example of TQ being a beast, man. He's just in B gap here. Now the tackle, for some reason, which they have a heavy alignment here. I guess he was trying to pass him off to 68. But TQ just takes it, and this is Jedrick Wills. who I like, but he just doesn't. He just gives him kind of an arm, but TQ just pushes him aside, pushes it aside, and Kareem Hunt just like kind of clips him, but it doesn't matter, and TQ just gets the pressure. Brissett's lucky to get the ball off the way that he does, but he just comes off the ball so quickly, and once he goes, and then Kareem Hunt just tries to put a shoulder in him, and he just crawls to the quarterback. I mean, that's just relentless. Like, just, oh, get off of me. Okay, oh, Kareem's like, oh shit. Put a shoulder in him. Oh, he's on the ground. Doesn't matter. Take one grand. Just gonna get up and wrap him up. That's a hell of a play. And I hate to harp on Walker, but he's just got to play better. This is a touchdown run that Brissett had early in the game, and really our defense was set up to stop this. It's just Walker. I can't really give, like, Evans kind of bites on the pump action that Brissett gives, but I kind of get it because he's got Kareem Hunt early, and he feels him go off, and he jumps up because he thinks that Kareem Hunt might be behind him, and that might be where Brissett is trying to lob the ball over the top of him. But really, Walker just over pursues this, and it takes him out of the chance of making the tackle. And you just can't have this, especially with the quarterback. The D-line does a really good job. Grady's getting in there, and then TQ is kind of just waiting, trying to fight and trying to close in on the other side. Brissett does a good job of stepping up, and then TQ kind of gets faked out by the way he's going and gets faked out. But see, then you have your linebacker help coming here, and see, Rashawn was feeling Kareem, so he knows he's behind him somewhere. So whenever that pump happens, he reacts. But really, Walker should be more like right here instead of over pursuing the way he did. And he would have been able to, because Sean Evans is here. He can't really go here because that's between both of them. If Walker was here, he would have a better angle to come down on him, but he over pursues a lot. That's his biggest issue, really, is over pursuing on the play. I'll run it again just so you can watch what Walker does. He's coming down, and he tries to throw on the brakes, but he's just going downhill so fast, and he over pursues it, and it gives up the touchdown. So Walker's just going to be better. Like I said, I think Walker is another reason that Troy Anderson's getting more looks, because Walker has his strengths. He's good in coverage a lot, but he just has some mental mistakes. It's not that Walker's a bad player. He just makes mistakes, and you make too many of those in this DB's defense, and he's going to find somebody that's more consistent. That's just the truth of it. I wanted to go back to the offense here, shift our focus back to the offense for a little bit, and really this run game, which is, I think, a lot of people wanted to turn on this video just for the run game. So I'm going to get into that, dive into that for a little bit. I wanted to start with this play because everything else was great, but I really wanted to focus on Drake London here. We're running like a crack toss play, which I talked about in the Seahawks game. Talking about Lorenzo Carter, having to watch out for that. Anytime you have a wide receiver, especially a wide receiver like Drake London, you have to worry about whenever he's close, he's in tight in the formation. And you'll just see why, because he just gets into the rib cage of this defender here and just pushes him out and kind of springs this run. Good blocking all around, but really the focus I wanted to make was this block by Drake London, because it's pretty good for a wide receiver. I mean, he just gets in there, dude. He just, takes him right out of the play. And so you take away the contain there, then they're scrambling, and then Patterson just reads his blocks and gets up there. But I mean, just Silencio. Jesus. Oh man, London's a beast. For real. I mean, that's just. What more can you say? Man, I wanted to show this play because it just highlights Patterson so much. This is just a simple zone read block, but how Patterson just fakes out this linebacker is just it's awesome. And I think it's Jok, I think, is who he fakes out here, but he's just gonna go inside a little bit and then he cuts outside, but the way he does it, it stops this linebacker in his tracks, and then he just gets taken out on the block. It's just so beautiful. I just can play it. So snap comes, Patterson comes in. See, JOK's going. He's like, oh, he's going in this gap, so he's going to fill this, right? Patterson's like, oh yeah, I'm going to hit that gap. Oh no, I'm not. And he just like, you try to do that in trying to keep your balance or not to tear a ligament out in your backyard. Like that is like there's not a lot of players that can make a cut like that. He doesn't even really lose speed. He gets back up to speed quick and he just hits the outside. Touchdown. I really wanted to show that play because I mean that's just very, very good run play. It might be when guys knee injured, I don't know, but that was something I had to point out. And this is probably my favorite play of the game. I wanted to segue it from the Patterson play because it's a similar action that Avery Williams does. It's a kind of a counter play, a cutback, and basically all you're gonna have is you're gonna have your offensive lineman kind of shifting here. Dahlman pulls, so he comes out and he kicks out the contain on this play, and then upfield you'll see Drake London make a good block. But really, just watch Avery Williams too. He just kind of stops and then kind of fakes like he's going this way to get the linebackers to flow this way, and then he just quickly cuts it back. It's very good. You see here, he does a hard fake there, and look at these linebackers. Just going, and then you're just gonna have like McGarry and them seal them off, and everybody's sealed here. And then you got Dahlman pulling. He's gonna kick out this guy right here, and then just look at the cut that Avery makes, and he doesn't really lose speed. I mean, and he just cuts inside there. He could have gone outside, but he just felt better going in. He's so smooth with it, and then London laying out a block there. I mean, that's textbook, man. Like you don't get much more, much better blocking than that, and much better running. I mean, that's just great running all around. And really, all of our linebackers or all of our running backs made plays. This game, Algier had some good runs. Obviously, you just saw Avery and Patterson had some good runs, but really the freaking man of the hour in this game was Huntley. And I just wanted to show this play because this game he just hit the hole so well. I'm going to show a few plays of him just to show that and highlight that. But he just hits the hole, and it's very important that he did because we're kind of crashing in. Normal it's a zone blocking. I've went over this a million times, but Pitts is kind of he's cracking the the defensive end here, just like London did on that play. But the thing is, he kind of pushes him, which it's the design of the play. He pushes him towards Huntley, And if Huntley like did what he does sometimes and stutters and doesn't hit the hole right, this guy could make the play. But because he hits the hole so well, the guy can't make the play on him, and he just hits it and just goes and just finds a little crease and gets in. So it wasn't a huge game, which he has some bigger gains later on. I'll show, but that was just a very underrated play that he did just by being more aggressive. And Huntley does another good job here of hitting the hole, but I really wanted to show and highlight Dahlman as well, because he does a great job of they're again doing a zone blocking, but since the run's going this way into this hole, Dahlman has to do a pretty good reach to this defensive tackle here that's in the one tech, and he wants to get to this shoulder and seal him off, and he does a really good job of it. It's a very athletic play, because you'll see here he doesn't like have a lot of time to get around and seal him off, and he just does it in like one swift motion and pushes him and drives him out of the play. That's a very underrated play by him. And then of course Huntley is just one cut up the field, man, just attacking, and that's what the difference in this game was Huntley in this offensive line just doing their thing. And just the vision of Huntley on this play is deserving of praise here. The way he was making cuts in this game, the way he was just quick with his decisions, he's just very, you just have to give him all the praise in the world. Again, all these are just simple run zone schemes, but the players make it because he comes in, he hits, and he doesn't hesitate. He's just almost gliding and just finding a hole. And once he finds it, he just hits it so hard, and then he's in for the touchdown. Just great play. I can go over scheme all I want. The coaches can too, but really at the end of the day, these players really came out to play, and that made the difference. And man, I really want to just end the run portion, the run blocking portion, just by showing, this is coaching more so. Like, our players are playing their hearts out, but they're playing their hearts out because they're coached very well and they're confident in knowing what they need to do, and it's simple, and you can tell that it's coaching because everybody's blocking. On this play, everybody gets a good block, and Pitts actually does a really good job because he is kind of in a bad position, and then he could have got a hold call. There is a flag, but it's not holding on this play. I can't remember. It was something on them. Maybe it might have been holding, but it was like defensive holding. But which is like one of these guys might have tried to prevent them from climbing. I'm not too sure. Not really focused on that. But like Cordell Hodge has a block on this where he just drives the guy out of the play, and you only get that when you have good coaching. Like, look at that, dude. He's just driving him out of bounds. Like, it doesn't matter who they throw in here, they're blocking. So it's 100% coaching. Well, I won't say 100% because the players got to make plays, but it's a lot of coaching because our offensive line and this team as a whole isn't much different than what we had under Quinn, but you see the results are much different. Alright, we got to some good run offense. Let's turn our attention to some bad run defense. And really, honestly, I hate to harp on Michael Walker, but he's the catalyst for why this happening again. as Troy Anderson gets better, we're going to be seeing less and less of Walker if he continues to make these mistakes. And really, the big thing is he's the strong side guy on this play. Because of the alignment, he's the mic, and so his job is to come downhill and get in that gap, just like we saw Troy Anderson earlier, and take on trash so that you free up Rashaan Evans to make the play, or you can make the play yourself potentially. And for some reason, Walker decides to get down in here with all the trash, and he's not in the position to make the play, and Chubb just takes that gap that Walker should be in and takes it to the end zone. So we'll play it through and I'll show you what I mean. So what you want from Walker is for him to get down inside here. He might have to take on a block, but see, if you take on a block, then you're at least going to make Chubb get through you, and you're going to give Rashaan Evans and the rest of this backside to come in, and he might try to cut it back or something and run in to some flowing defenders. But because Walker comes down here, which makes absolutely zero sense, you're basically taking yourself out of the play. Like, what does this help, right? You already got guys that are going to be flowing here to cut this hill off this cutback. You need to be here. You need to be here. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Why are you looking at taking on the block from 77? There's no point in it. Why? And he does that, and then look where he was supposed to be, and now this tackle that Walker could have taken on can now reach up and settle off Rashaan Evans, and now you've got the play sprung. Grant just doesn't have the angle, and it's a touchdown. Like, what is he seeing here? What possesses him to come down straight where all the traffic is instead of going where? I mean, why are you not running to open space? Be like a running back. Run to daylight, baby. And I mean, he could have made this play easy, but now your lineman is trying to seal it off. But I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating. But yeah, if you don't fix it quick, Troy Anderson coming, buddy. Troy Anderson's doing his job. All right, so this is the flea flicker screen pass fumble that we got early in the game, but I'm not showing it to highlight the fumble. I'm actually showing it to highlight Lorenzo Carter here on the edge here. What he does actually makes this happen. I mean, obviously he didn't know a fumble was going to happen, but he makes it, prevents well, it doesn't really prevent a big gain, but he funnels the play back inside to the help, and it forces the fumble inadvertently. What's cool about this is that they gave him it's a flea flicker, so you would think he'd be attacking more, but he kind of recognizes what's happening, and he just stays with the play instead of engaging with 85. Because what they want is the flea flicker, they wanted to run some streaks and hopefully, maybe one of the corners or safety stopped their feet and they could get a big play. But then they've got this little leak out by the tight end, a little screen to kind of salvage it. And what they're hoping is that Lorenzo Carter engages with Njoku, and then Njoku can just kind of leak out off of him, catch it, and he's in space and runs. But Carter stays home, doesn't engage, and just kind of sits there. Like, look at him, he's just standing there. Like, it's kind of weird how he recognized that. I don't know if they showed this on tape or what, but he knew what was coming, and he just, the only thing that he does that's, you know, he kind of backs off, and then he gets kind of blocked up, but still a very decent play by him. And then of course it funnels it back inside. It's to see if you go out, if he was to engage and he could leak out here, he's got all this space here you could run. He's pretty much got free reign. Whereas he had to kind of come in, and then you got Hawkins coming in and forcing the fumble. So very, very small detail, but you know, plays like that make all the difference. You know, it's the small plays that make the difference. And I just wanted to highlight Casey Hayward here, because a lot of people have been kind of bashing him through the year, but he's quietly been very solid of a corner. Like, a lot of people said that Fabian Monroe is similar to him, and he is much better than Fabian Monroe, in my opinion. And from what I've seen, but he just makes a really good play here. It's very underrated. This was on 3rd down, forced a punt. We're just playing a simple cover 1 coverage here, and his receiver is just kind of running a little crossover here, and he just stays with it. And I mean, the pass is a little high, but even if the receiver was to make the catch, he's in prime position to make the tackle, which he's been very consistent at making. I mean, he just comes through and, you know, makes that a difficult throw. It's, you know, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like fantastic, or a lot of the times the best plays are the very understated plays. It really is my biggest pet peeve when players are always trying to make the big play, because really, to me, the best thing to do is to stay on schedule, make the plays that you have to make, the routine plays, and that's where the big plays will come through eventually. You know, you really frustrate an offense and a defense if you're just staying on schedule, making the routine plays, like taking what they give you, just being in position. If you're in position, you're gonna get big plays come your way eventually. You know, I see a lot of, it makes me so mad, even like especially in college, these defenders always trying to strip the ball every time they try to make a tackle, and then they end up getting the tackle broken because they don't secure the tackle. And it's just like, I would rather you make a secure tackle consistently over and over again, as opposed to trying to get the fumble, because fumbles are going to happen just by happenstance sometimes. Your helmet hits the ball the right way, or something like that, or the guy just drops it sometimes. But form tackling is always going to frustrate an offense, because if they just, all they can get is what they get when they catch the ball and you're just there to tackle them every time, they're going to have to make more plays to get down the field, and that's more opportunities for mistakes to happen. I don't know, this is a mini rant. We'll finish up the film session, but I just wanted to put that out there, because anybody that's playing football or anything like that that's watching this video, just make the tackle. Just make the tackle. And of course, we finished the film session like we have pretty much every film session, and that's highlighting Grady Jarrett. Like, how many times can this guy just make the key play in the key moment of a game? I mean, it's impressive. It's much more impressive than getting sacks at any other point in the game. I mean, this is game on the line. And the offer makes an interception after this play, but really it's set up by this play, because after this play they're in desperation, Hail Mary almost mode. And I mean, no take cake and anything for the offer. I mean, we've seen this Falcons team, not this Falcons team, but Falcons teams in the past blow some big coverages, so you can't take anything away from that. It's just there's not much to really break down there other than, hey man, good job being in position here. But man, and Grady does it. He does the exact same move he did the week before in Seattle, and you think like these guys would be watching that film so much, and it doesn't matter because he's just so good. He just comes off this ball, and he just swipes the hands. Which, guys, if you are playing D line or anything, or want to see what a good D lineman does, the hands, man, the hands. He's trying to get into his chest to get under it, and Grady just swipes his hands, gets him off of him. Then he gives a little olay and a shut, like just to clear off those hands. He's just clearing the arms. Because once a lineman doesn't have his arms, he's off leverage. His feet are not set. He's just riding to the quarterback at that point. There's nothing he can do. So, like, man, it's so impressive. I mean, what more can you say? Like, this guy is worth every penny we've spent on him, dude. Like, he is the guy. He's the guy you want to build your defense around. He's just, if there wasn't an Aaron Donald in the league, he would be the best defensive tackle in the league. And they're not that far off, to be honest with you. Those guys are just beasts. But yeah. Alright, guys, and just to close, like I said, there is just so much positive that went into this game. There are some negatives, and we covered those. But I really like the direction of this team, especially like the young guys, the guys that they're bringing in that are making plays. Our free agents that they're bringing in, just on down the board, you can just tell that this is a well-coached team, because it doesn't matter who's in. They are there and they're doing what they can do, and they're being put in good positions to make plays. Now we have a few guys that are kind of hit or miss on making those plays, and we'll see how that turns out. But overall, I like the direction of this team, where they're headed. I think in the next year or two, this is going to be a very difficult team to face, especially once they get their guys. And so, that's really all I can say. I'm just excited about this team. But just let me know down in the comments below what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Share this out to your friends. But this has been Dirty Bird Confessional and the film study. And peace out.